really believe Tom Brady is just a kitten owner at this point, or is he actually going to come back?
I believe that at some point in June or July, he's going to wake up and say, what have I done? I still want to play football. He said on his podcast he still wants to play. And Jim Gray, who co-hosts the Let's Go podcast with Tom Brady, said to him at one point, you know, you said that you'll retire when you suck and you don't suck, so why are you retiring? And Brady said, and I quote, I believed it when I said it. And you know what dawned on me the other day, guys? That is a powerful license to say whatever you want to say. It's the George Costanza, it's not a lie if you believe it. It's next level. I believed it when I said it. It was true when I said it. It's no longer true. But it was true when I said it. And I just don't rule anything out with this guy. And I think once he processes time with his family, and especially if it's the Dolphins, because two of his kids live in Miami, you know, I think the 49ers at some point may wake up and say, we got Brock Purdy with the messed up elbow. We got Trey Lance that we're not sure we can trust. Why don't we finally say yes to Tom Brady, because he's been trying to get there, I believe. Definitely in 2020 he wanted to go there. And I think something was going on last year, too, once the Dolphins' door got slammed in his face after the Brian Flores lawsuit was filed and the Dolphins couldn't proceed with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. But I'm not ready to say this guy's not coming back. And whether it's June or July, whether it's injury happens to a starting quarterback early in the season, whatever it may be. You know, I always thought Brett Favre would do a Roger Clemens half season at some point, and he never did. I could see Tom Brady doing something like that if the right opportunity arises. And who knows? Maybe I've said I'm not going to believe he's truly done until he doesn't play for a full year. Maybe with him, I'll say that I'm not convinced he's truly done until 2 years go by without him playing.
And your website 4 minutes ago just tweeted Scott Zolak, Patriots broadcaster, former Patriots QB, says Brady playing for the Dolphins is definitely 100% in play.
Wow.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com here on The Fan. All right, your legal perspective on the Michael Irvin case and Michael's press conference yesterday.
Well, when I got the notice of the press conference and I remembered that Tuesday was the day that they were due to get information from Marriott, my first conclusion was they must like what they got.
Right.
You're not calling a press conference to say, well, you know what, based on everything they gave us, they're right. And Michael apologizes and we dismiss the case. So I think that what they got from Marriott, they liked. And Marriott is acting like a company that has something to hide here. They have been kicking and screaming when it comes to not giving up the surveillance video. And then what I gleaned yesterday was when it was time to turn over the video, they told Irvin's lawyer, we're not giving it to you. We'll let you see it. Michael can't see it. We'll only let you see it. And we're not giving you the video because the lawyer said that he filed a motion yesterday to force them to actually give him the video. So they have been very reluctant and recalcitrant and combative unnecessarily. And I know they have a defense like we don't really own the hotel. It's just our name on it. I don't know if that's going to fly. The bottom line is somebody apparently overreacted. Somebody instigated with NFL Network a complaint that got Michael Irvin pulled from the Super Bowl week coverage. And the one fact that I think is very important to remember here, Marriott is a longtime sponsor of the NFL. And my guess is that the NFL was willing to jump when they got a complaint from proud sponsor of the NFL. And this is part of what you learn through the discovery process. How high up the chain of Marriott did this go? How many alarms were sounded? And how high up NFL Network's ladder did it go? Because when they and hey, NFL Network may have some liability here at some point if Michael Irvin chooses to pursue it. But man, it sure feels like somebody dramatically overreacted based upon the representation of what's in that video, the accounts from the eyewitnesses that Michael Irvin had participate yesterday, and those guys have all been named, I think, in court papers. I feel horrible for Michael Irvin because I feel like somebody made a rash decision, acted on it prematurely, and now the question is, can the legal process be engineered in a way that gets him a fair amount of compensation for what he, by all appearances, unnecessarily endured.
So you're feeling great if you're Michael or his attorney.
Well, you're still upset that it happened.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you have any type of civil case, you're always better off not having had the thing happen that caused the lawsuit, right? Whether it's an injury or you had a job that you lost, anything that's bad enough to justify a viable civil lawsuit, it's better if it didn't happen. So there's nothing for Michael Irvin to be happy about. But as it relates to the lawsuit, there's been nothing so far that has caused me to say, Michael may have a problem, other than the fact that he spoke publicly when he should have said nothing early on. We talked about that 4 weeks ago. He shouldn't have said anything because it's clear that his whatever happened is unreliable because he was drinking and he doesn't remember. But we're apparently becoming aware of other evidence that makes his testimony unnecessary, that there's nothing that should have caused anyone. I've seen nothing. I've heard nothing that should have caused anyone to complain about Michael Irvin. And, guys, I'll tell you this. If Marriott had something that was a smoking gun, we'd know about it.
Last thing, any smoke to the Cowboys and DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Ramsey, Odell Beckham as we're all getting ready for the Dak extension?
Well, they've made it clear that they're still interested in Odell Beckham. The problem is I think Beckham's going to want more than he should get at this point because he needs to reestablish to the league that he can still play at a high level before he can get the kind of contract he wants. The number that was being kicked around last year was $20 million a year. DeAndre Hopkins is definitely available, but you better be ready to pay him on the way in the door. I think Ramsey and Hopkins and also Derrick Henry, the reason those three guys are available, common reason, they want new contracts. And, Hopkins technically is making $27.5 million a year, but this year he's making $19.5. And he's seen the market go haywire. He's going to want a new contract. Jalen Ramsey, there was talk last year early in training camp, maybe just before the start of the season, about Ramsey wanting a new contract. That subsided because he still had 4 years left at the time. Now he has 3 years left. I think he's going to want a new contract. So you better have a way to placate these guys financially if you bring them to town. And I know Jerry Jones has been talking about them making a big move in free agency, but don't just go chase a star. You want to get somebody who's going to make the team better and help the Cowboys get over the hump. At least put them in a position where they can beat the 49ers if they meet them again in the playoffs.
The Godfather, Mike Florio, father of mine, a mob book, April 25th for $4.99 on 105.3 The Fan. Thank you, Don.
Never go against the family.
Never go against the website.